Hi, I'm Connie Mabin with the United Steelworkers. I'm here with Bill Greider, national correspondent with The Nation magazine and noted author about the economy. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. In your speech, you talked about us reaching a political crossroads of sort. Can you briefly describe for those at home what that means?
Yeah, I think the 2006 election is the beginning of a really deep political shift. And that's almost an end point for the kind of hard-nosed, conservative, right-wing government we've had for 25 years, and with capital in charge and labor taking it in the neck and lots of other things. And it's not going to happen overnight, but the next couple of elections, I believe, are going to play out a decisive shift that makes that clear. And of course, it depends on lots of things, but it especially depends upon people themselves driving it, and they drive it by making sure that politicians have gotten the message.
During your speech, you spoke of a political crossroads. What does that mean for the rapid response team and for those workers at home? What kind of opportunity does this crossroads present for them?
Well, I think it's an opportunity they haven't had in many years, and that is to up the ante for politicians. And I mean that in terms of the issues, the seriousness, the speed with which things change. There's a lot to do in this country, a lot of mending, and it can't happen overnight. But they can be the drivers because they both have contact with folks back home, and they know how to knock on doors in Washington and be heard. That's the combination that can force action.
How is the globalization debate changing?
I can see very clearly that the establishment, having preached that free trade is a win-win situation, nobody loses, etc., for decades, is now overwhelmed with evidence to the contrary. I mean, workers and unions and others have known this for years. People like myself have been writing it for years. But their first voices are now coming forward that say, you know what, we have to reform globalization in pretty serious ways, partly because the U.S. is losing. And that's an important addition to the debate because it's not coming from workers or myself or labor unions. It's coming from people who are on the other side, who were in management, who saw it happen and now recognize that their assumptions about how this was going to be good for everyone are simply wrong. So that's a great help in arguing for political change.
Is this a historic opportunity?
If we don't change fast, we're going to go down as a first-run economy, and if that happens, the whole global system goes down. And I'm putting that starkly, but that's really what I believe. I think it's an historic opportunity to reform and change and prevent that from happening. But I have to add, if we don't move rather seriously, the worst may happen.
Bill Greider, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Connie Mabin, reporting from the Rapid Response Conference in Washington, D.C.